All right. Today, Tuesday, August 12th, 2025. Today after a weekend that showed, and this is what today's EON is brought to you by you, yourself looking, whoever's watching this video. And I'm going to say to you, the average person, and I know the person's always going to say, well, it's not me. Me, I love it. Well, this is what I'm going to say to you. Media, you yourself, you only care about two things in life. You hate peace. You hate people having peace together and loving each other. You know how I know this? Because when there's actually peace in the world of countries like Armenia and Azerbaijan who's hated each other for 35 years and have always had fights and conflicts, and they've actually had wars with each other. And then you have Rwanda and DR Congo. No, Rwanda and DR Congo in Africa having wars, and they have a ceasefire after years. You didn't even care. You didn't even budge. You took it like 1 or 2 days and you said no. Now you also have Ukraine and Russia going on, and you don't really care. The average person doesn't care, besides for people from those countries. And also, you only care to make Trump look bad because you love drama. You love protesting. You love crying. Maybe so do I sometimes. But the point is, you only like two things. You only care about two things in your life. You care what the Jews are doing wherever they are. That's all you care about. And you care about yourself getting money and getting free stuff. That's what you care about. Not free stuff, but how are you're gonna get rich. No one cares about anything else except for those two. Let's be honest, because you're talking about Israel all the time, but you're not talking about actual peace between nations that hate each other. You're not talking about actually a president that actually goes after peace, and you hate that president that actually goes after peace, and peace happens. There have been peace with this guy, with countries that you never thought was possible. It was impossible to think that was going to happen. 15 million people approximately. I believe it's 14. I don't know the exact number, but according to the 2024 census, I believe it's around 15 million people, more or less, that are actually neighboring countries that are able to travel to each other's countries, do business and trade. They could actually travel to each other's countries. I'm sure people have families in each other's countries. I'm not sure exactly. And by the way, it's two different religions. If you talk about Christian and Muslims are actually making peace, you go, I don't care. Who cares? So what? It's irrelevant. It's not irrelevant. It's actually a peace deal. So you don't care. You could care less. You could care less. I was telling people the other year about, the Middle East compared to what Biden has done and the craziness, and then what Trump has done. And you said, what has Trump done in the Middle East? There are 4 countries that made peace with each other. 5 countries that made peace with each other. And you sit there and say, so? What do you mean, so? DR Congo Rwanda have wars for years. You don't care about people dying. And they have peace, and suddenly they care. They go, racist. He's a racist dude who just made peace. Wow, between 2 black countries. It's ridiculous. People have been unalived all these years, and you can't stand it. You cannot stand peace. You hate peace. All of you. I love it. Armenia and Azerbaijan made peace with each other. Neighboring countries who've hated each other. And you sit here and you say, I care about human rights. You could care less about human rights if it doesn't benefit you. You only care what the Jews are doing anywhere. You could care less. You don't care about the Sudan stuff going on. You could care less. Russia, Ukraine's irrelevant to you unless Trump looks bad. But you didn't care. You only cared about Russia, Ukraine for about a month. And these people are dying left and right on a monthly basis. More people are dying than the Gaza situation. I don't know, 2 months. Like, it's insane. You don't care about human beings. You don't. You could care less about anybody. And you say, well, that's because this is happening, that is happening. You sit here and you say, well, people are controlling the world. Which ones? You say the Jews control the world, but we don't care about Qatar. Qatar gives more money than any other country to academia and universities. Qatar is giving money to Tucker Carlson. He's not even denied it. He's barely denied it anymore. And you're sitting here and you say, AIPAC, which is true, but Qatar, What about them? What about them? You don't care. You could care less. And you talk about universities, and every university you say, the Zionists control the university. Because you only care about Jews. Because Israel, I believe, they're definitely not in the top 5. They're not even in the top 10 countries in funding universities. Qatar's number 1. And you say, well, per capita, the much of their GDP and people, Qatar's number 1. Qatar has 600,000 people in their country. Are you kidding me? You know which and you know which government pays these universities? The PA pay universities more than Israel, and they have less people to take care of. And they don't even have Gaza. So what are you talking about? This is the problem. You don't care about anybody. You just care what the Jews are doing, number 1, and you don't care about peace anywhere. You don't care. You don't care that 2 countries have hated each other 35 years, made peace. You don't care that DR Congo are actually talking to each other about trade deals. Trade deals. Peace, we're not talking about ceasefires. You're talking about India and Pakistan. They had ear fights. I get it. It started when he was in, and then a week later they were done. It looked like they were going to go fight forever, those 2 countries, because they've been in conflict forever. I don't know when they're going to actually make peace. But they had ear fights. Literally ear fights where planes were fighting each other. No one cares. How many ear fights have we had in the past 50 years? I don't remember ear fights in a long time. All I remember is ear strikes. I don't remember ear fights. And you're sitting there and saying you care about humans. You could care less. You don't care about anybody. This is insanity. You just don't care. And you sit here and you have the audacity to say you care about people. Kids, you don't care about anybody. You could care less. You just care when there's a saying, no Jews, no news. It's a fact. And it's no Jews, no news. It's no you, no news. No you, no news. No me, no news. That's what it is. No me or no Jews. No news. Because all you care about is yourself and Jews. You could care less about anybody in this world. You don't care that these countries, it's amazing that they're having peace. And the president that actually makes peace, brokers it, they say, he's the worst. He's the freaking worst. I'm not going to sit there and say he's perfect. Ukraine and Russia's taking too long. He could do better on that. But at the end of the day, at least someone's talking to them and trying something. You say, well, he hasn't broken this war yet. Well, yeah, you're right about that. He has not. But here's the thing. I'll say this. He's trying as much as the Biden administration. But the approach is different, but whatever. You could criticize that. But he hasn't been perfect. There's things that you question what he's doing. Calling out Ukraine. Obviously, we all know Russia's the aggressors. But let me say this. Nobody's even was talking for 2 years. They were letting millions of people die. And he's saying this this is ridiculous what's going on. And you're sitting here, you say, you love peace. You don't love anything. You love nothing. You don't love a soul in this world except for yourself. I'm not saying I'm a saint. I'm not a saint. But neither are you. Don't tell me you care about humanity. You don't give a darn. You don't give a darn. Don't pretend you do. Now, yes, I get it. You're supposed to be selfish for yourself first and then care. But you don't care about anything. But you care about the Jews are doing more than yourself. That's the problem. That's the freaking issue. Because when this thing in Spain happens with these 50 kids, you make up stories and say it was Israeli brats and spies when they were French kids. These kids had no citizenship. I don't know how many of them had citizenship to Israel. They're all French kids, and what were they singing? They were singing anti-Palestinian songs. No, they were singing actually Jewish songs, religious Jewish songs that Israel didn't even make. Maybe an Israeli made 1 or 2 songs. But it had nothing to do with the state of Israel. So you sit here and you say, well, I hate this people, not that. No. You don't care about anything. You don't care about humanity. You could care about dead kids. because you didn't care about Congo, you didn't care about Rwanda, you didn't care about Ethiopia, you don't care about Sudan, you don't care about Russian Ukrainian kids, kidnapped kids, by the way, too. You don't care. You could care less. Look at the children. Wait, what about the Ukrainian children? You care about them? You don't care about anything in this world. You care about zero things but yourself. And you scream and say capitalism is the fault when these people actually got on their butt and actually tried to work, and you sit here lazy butt and go, socialism. No, you only care about yourself, what's going to get you. And that's all you care about. I'm not going to sit here and say, I don't care about I don't care about myself. I care about myself. But I'm not going to sit here and tell the world how great the world, like, we should do something. What should we do? I don't know. You don't have an answer. Neither do I. That's the problem. When there's actually peace in the world, you don't celebrate. There's no celebration. There's no, wow, that's a crazy thing. Countries made peace that hated each other for 35 years. Be thankful for that. Thank you. Armenia, Azerbaijan, kudos to those people. You made peace. It's an accomplishment. Awesome. Congo, Rwanda, please make peace. This is awesome. Thank you, Mr. President. You made peace. There's peace in the world, more peace than there was a couple of months ago. That's a fact. Yes, is there still chaos in the world? And there will always be chaos. But I like to say to all you people, thank the world there's peace. There's more peace than there was yesterday or a week ago because this happened Friday. This is crazy. You guys sit here, and I'm going to say this too, by the way. All the right-wing people too, they're not even mentioning it anymore. It's like it never happened. It's ridiculous. It's insanity. You guys don't even celebrate it. Where's the celebration? Two enemies became best friends. Not best friends, became friends. It's crazy. I'm out. Subscribe to my channel. Okay? Good for peace.